Hey there, MuggleCast listeners. I am back to inform you of some excellent news. GoDaddy.com is having better deals than ever. For only $3.59 a month for 12 months, you can get GoDaddy.com's economy package. With 250 gigs of bandwidth, 5 gigs of storage, and up to 500 email accounts, you can get your own website up and running with success. And as usual, enter code MUGGLE, that's MUGGLE, when you check out, and save an additional 10% on any order. Some restrictions apply. See site for details. Get your piece of the internet at GoDaddy.com.
Today's MuggleNet podcast is brought to you by Borders. In May, thousands of Harry Potter fans descended upon New Orleans for the Phoenix Rising Conference. Borders was there to take in the sights and share a lively discussion of the series that has bewitched the world with some of Harry's most dedicated fans. Listen in and watch the action yourself. Check out the Phoenix Rising Borders Book Club discussion at bordersmedia.com/Harry Potter or click on the Borders banner at the top of the MuggleNet page.
Welcome to MuggleCast Live in, oh gosh, where are we now? Detroit. Novi. Sorry. It says Detroit on the website. I checked the website first. How's everyone doing today?
Hello. Yeah.
Thank you for coming out. We got a good crowd here. How's the panel doing?
Well, I'd just like to take this moment to apologise for our bad appearances because we just left Emerson's about 4 hours ago after no showers. We just woke up and jumped in the car.
That's what this lion you see right here. That's you guys have to keep back a little bit so we don't all suffocate you.
I had a shower.
I love how you guys are cheering for the fact that Ben had a shower.
Yeah.
It's a first for everything.
Anyway, so at all these live shows, we've been doing a little. Well, first of all, let me ask: how's everyone happy with the book, Deathly Hallows?
Has it? I don't have. Okay.
Has everyone read the book?
Because if you haven't, we're going to be talking about it. We don't want to spoil it for you. So it'd be very, very.
So leave now, or forever hold your peace with being spoiled. Mikey, I think you
I saw some of the back leave.
Yeah.
I think
we wouldn't have a lot to talk about if we didn't talk about what happened in the book. We can make more predictions about what's going to happen, I guess.
Yeah.
We can talk about.
All right, so
we can always talk about Emerson's personal life.
Ooh,
whatever.
Spy on Sparts.
Well, he's sitting right next to us, you know.
So at every live show, we've been sort of doing a main discussion, a character discussion, because quite a few characters have developed in this book. And today we're going to talk about Hermione.
We are. So far, we've talked about Snape, Dumbledore, and we talked about anyone else? Voldemort. And it's been really, really interesting to get everyone's views on how their thoughts about that character has changed with the release of the 7th book. So, you know, all through the first to 6, they could have had a really, really strong opinion of this character, and then in the 7th, everything's just been thrown upside down with the new information we've got. So with Hermione, we've been thinking, you know, she has always been clever. She's always wanted to help her friends. There's always been a bit of controversy over why she was in Gryffindor and not Ravenclaw, and often people have wondered that. And then in the 7th book, she was a big help to Harry. In fact, Ben and I think that without Hermione, Harry would probably not be alive today. Because, and we keep saying this, that Harry just keeps waking up, doesn't know where he is, and Hermione's there looking all bushy-haired and, you know, covered in ash saying, "Oh, that was a close one again, Harry." So she always seems to save the day, Hermione.
It does seem like the 7th book was just every, 2 pages, they would have another near-death experience, and then through luck or whatever, miraculously,
Harry would just throw up an Expelliarmus, because that's how he wins everything.
please hold for a mic change.
Does it work? It works.
All right,
Yay.
cool.
So what did you guys think of Hermione in the first 6 books? Because
well, I mean,
that's the theme we've been going for.
In book 7, it's basically exactly how Hermione's been throughout all 6 books, but now Hermione, all of this help she's been providing Harry from Sorcerer's Stone to Half-Blood Prince has all come together in Deathly Hallows, and just like the whole book is just her helping Harry. Like that's all she's doing.
What I love about Hermione is the fact that like Harry has this task. Obviously, it's the odds of successfully tracking down all the Horcruxes and destroying them and then defeating Voldemort. His odds aren't good. And yet he spends all his time just kind of going with the flow. Whatever happens to him happens. But Hermione is taking all this time that she has to learn as much as she can about magic and to improve herself as much as she possibly can. So in the 7th book, you see every time they're in a tight situation, Hermione always knows the right spell to use because her knowledge of magic is so superior to Harry's. Even though he may be a powerful wizard, just because it's just in him. But Hermione makes the most of what she has, and that's what I really am impressed with because she's very bookish, and I really like that about her.
Yeah. Mikey?
That's his biggest turn on, by the way.
If you can read books. No, I totally agree with both of you guys. Hermione has definitely stepped up, and I think she showed a lot more courage in this book than previous books. Normally she's kind of the one that doesn't want to break the rules, doesn't want to go out underneath the invisible cloak and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But now she's like, we need to do this. She realizes that, it's either them or losing, to Voldemort, so they have to. She uses all her books. I remember reading the scene where she's packing up books, like which books to take and which ones not to take. I just started laughing, going, I can totally picture, Emma Watson or my Hermione in my head do this. Just going, I really want to take this book, but it's about Nargles or something. Absolutely, completely irrelevant, and she's like, we never know. We might run into it, and puts it in the pack. It's like, I can just see the stacks being totally lopsided, where it's just like 100 books I need to take and one book about, MuggleNet.com's What Will Happen in Harry Potter 7 not need to be taken.
You can't leave the house with that one, Mikey.
I don't know. She's living it, so she might not need to take it. But it's like everything. She's just, taking, her knowledge is just beyond Harry.
She should have taken it with us because we were pretty darn right.
Who knows? But yeah, it's I can just imagine, Hermione. Without Hermione, Harry would have been lost.
He was, yeah.
Especially, every time he wakes up, he's like, thank you, Hermione. You saved me again. It's just like
seems like he's usually mad at her for when she broke his wand. I mean, yes, he has the right to be mad at her, but she also did save his life, which is a little more important than his wand.
Yeah.
And I couldn't help but thinking, Harry, come on, dude, priorities here.
Yeah, it's like face Voldemort without a wand, or have Hermione save you again.
But there were so many instances where she just did stuff that he didn't even think of, like she cast protective spells around their campsite, which they were camping a great deal. So she did all that, and then she told him stuff he didn't know, like on Grimmauld Place after they got back from the Ministry, and Yaxley got his arm around her just as they disapparated, and so
disappeared, disapparated, same thing.
It's been a long night.
Long drive.
Yeah. So yeah, she just did stuff that he had no idea how to do. So
one thing I kind of got upset with Hermione about is she's too logical at certain times. Like, Harry had figured everything out. He's like, this is what we gotta do. She's like, no, it's just a story. It's just a fairy tale. It's like, no, it's the Deathly Hallows. It's the 3 things we need to get. No, it's a fairy tale. Lovegood is just totally out of his mind. No, it's true. Harry was like positive, and she was completely wrong. And I like that Harry kind of proved her wrong a little bit.
Yeah.
See,
I like Harry.
As somebody who normally prides rational decision making, and that's why Hermione's one of my favorite characters. I actually thought what happened was when Hermione and Harry had that divergence where Harry had to go with his gut and Hermione was wrong. I think her logic actually failed her at that point, because logically we could all see from Harry's perspective that the Deathly Hallows were obviously the reason that the invisibility cloak existed, and all these the pieces were fitting together. Harry was actually being more logical than Hermione, and it was a gut feeling. It was a combination. So Hermione.
Well,
I think Hermione just had a hard time believing in a story about 3 kids or whatever.
Well, I think the biggest thing for us as readers was that's the title of the book.
Yeah.
So maybe it's important. I don't know.
Yeah. It's interesting. One of the other titles, I don't know if you guys have heard, but one of the other titles that Joe was considering was Harry Potter and the Elder Wand, which I think would have been more fitting, especially with the U.S. cover, because apparently the cover is depicting them reaching for the Elder Wand, Harry and Voldemort.
After they shot spells at each other, and Harry's the master of death, and the wand goes wee up in the air.
Right. What other character are you really proud of, Mikey?
Oh, give it up for Molly Weasley, everybody. Come on, how awesome is that? Really, can you imagine at that final battle, Molly Weasley just stay away from my daughter, you witch. And it's just like, she goes after Bellatrix, imagine the movie. Like, she's going to be running, her cloak flies off her. She's like, come on, no! Now, you guys got to remember, she doesn't necessarily kill Bellatrix. It's just a curse. So Molly Weasley probably uses like a stupefy because she's not a mean person, but she still takes out Bellatrix. Well, no, because it says Harry knew exactly what was going to happen before it even happened, just like what happened to Sirius. Sirius was hit by a stunning spell and fell through the veil.
Straight in the chest.
Right below the heart. So who knows what it was? I really can't picture Molly Weasley using Avada Kedavra. Probably she could if she really wanted to, but I can't see it. Come on, she's always making food, and come on, really? It would be a stunning spell, I think, or it could be Expelliarmus because that's the spell of the book.
Solution
that's
to everything.
Harry's.
Open the door, Expelliarmus.
Who thought it was cool that Harry used unforgivable curses? That was awesome. When he was just like telling people what to do. Yeah.
Yeah, Imperio.
Does anyone have any thoughts on Hermione? So, like, how she's changed with the 7th book? Or
If
how
you-
her character is
audience here.
developed?
Yeah, if you have a thought, why don't you come on up and we'll give you a microphone. You can tell us, and we can respond. Anybody brave enough to get up?
Anyone?
I know the floor is pretty comfortable.
Pretty
Or
exciting
if anybody-
response so far.
One thing I've kind of been itching for a debate about is I, having read the book, a lot of people told me in the book MuggleNet.com's What Will Happen in Harry Potter 7, we predicted that Harry would live, and I'd been getting a lot of my friends calling and saying, Harry died, you were wrong. Well, you were half right, but you were wrong because he died. But I don't think he died.
No.
I think it's pretty clear
Did
that
Harry
he wasn't
live?
dead. Dumbledore actually says, Harry asks him, am I dead? And Dumbledore says, on the whole, I think not. Clearly, you can't be, you're either dead or you're not. Like, there's, like, and it's, Harry's clearly in, like, kind of like a transitional kind of between life and death. But there's, J.K. Rowling has been very clear in the past that you can't come back from the dead.
Right,
so he
right.
wasn't dead. So if anybody wants to debate that, I'm spoiling for a fight right now.
He's very angry.
Yeah.
All right,
This
no
guy back
challengers.
here wants to say something.
What? Why don't you come on up here and use the microphone because it is an audio podcast. We want to hear your voice on the podcast, so you can go download it yourself. Be like, "That's me, everybody, listen." That's what I do every time I'm on the show. I'm like, "Oh, it's me."
Oh.
What's your name? Where you're from?
My name's Steve. I'm from Jackson, Michigan. Prison City.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was just kind of curious. I don't think he was really dead or alive. He was a master of death. I think that's why he was given the choice kind of in that purgatory of, the train station. Dumbledore said, well, you can either go, because, as you know, his scar was gone. He no longer needed his glasses. So, I mean, in a way, I think he was kind of dead.
Well, I agree with you. I think that train station was probably someone mentioned at an event we did in Valparaiso, Indiana, that maybe the reason why he was at a train station for the purgatory is because it's very symbolic of having to choose. Which train do you get on?
Should I stay or should I go?
Yeah. Well played. And,
Thanks, guys.
but either way, we're in agreement that he wasn't actually dead. He didn't decide to get on that train.
No, it was all in his head.
It was all in his head. That's what
and as
Dumbledore
Dumbledore
says.
explained that he still had the anchor to life because of the whole blood thing, with Voldemort's blood.
But I think the point about what Joe has said multiple times: once you're dead, you can't come back, even in the magical world.
Except
Been
as
very
in
clear about
theory.
that.
Yeah,
Well, no, but you can come back, but you just can't come back as yourself. You can come back as your...
right. But Harry's himself.
Yeah, he is, yeah.
So,
Actually, wait, hold on. I have a question about the dead. Did anyone else think in Fury were going to play like a role because they've been talking about him? I was expecting like Harry Potter and the zombies, but like there was no in Fury. Like it just like it was a big part in like book 6 as the ring or the locket, and like that's it.
That would be awesome if it was a kind of Sixth Sense thing where we think Harry came baame from the dead, but he didn't really. He's
Yeah.
actually dead. And no one talks to him now, and he wonders why for so long. And then he realizes, and then Ginny just takes off her ring and throws it down, and then everything fades to black.
Aww.
What a fitting end.
Ginny.
I think the thing that surprised me the most was the fact that we never saw the veil again.
yeah.
Yeah.
I thought
Or
the
the
veil,
Department of Mysteries in general, really.
the mysterious locked door, and I thought that was going to be almost central. I figured that might even be where the end of the book is, or that would just be crucial to the final.
I read a spoiler online, which I thought was a spoiler originally, where Voldemort and Harry go to the Ministry of Magic, and they're in that circular room where the love door is. and they're fighting. And I can't remember how they were fighting, but Harry opens this door to the love room, and this huge burst of light comes out, and it completely destroys Voldemort, but it heals him because he's pure at heart. And I believed it, and I've been told off for believing this because it doesn't sound realistic. But
you know what? I read
if
the same.
If you'd read it, you'd have believed it too.
You know what? Jamie, I think I read the same thing, but this time Harry sent him a Valentine's Day and killed him that way.
I believe that one too.
Well, while we're making random observations, I thought one of the coolest scenes in the whole movie was when Kreacher rallied the house elves to come fight in the battle.
Yeah.
And
Kreacher really made a full 180 in this.
He really did. We did not see the Kreacher storyline. We saw the first part with the Regulus Black and the Horcrux, but we didn't think that a little bit of kindness in Kreacher would just turn into this this cool little house elf. But I thought one thing that surprised me a little bit was these house elves are supposed to be capable of some really, really powerful magic. So why do they come out? Why are they banging on knees with like spatulas and egg beaters and stuff?
That is very true.
I thought they'd be really laying the smack down with some seriously powerful magic, but
it reminded me of
frying pans.
Have you seen The Mummy, the film? Anyone seen The Mummy? They reminded me of those beetles that come over and just devour you in 1 second. I can just imagine all these house elves crawling on top of Voldemort and him just going down and just seeing a hand disappear right at the end like that.
That is a really weird mental image.
I kind of,
as I said, it was a late night.
For the house elves, I kind of saw them like Ewoks. They're just coming up and they're taking swinging from the rafters.
Ewoks.
The cleavers and be like it would be cool.
Oh yeah, straight out of the third Star Wars movie. Yeah.
6 technically.
There you go.
But anyway.
Am I the only one who's never seen Star Wars?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Thank you.
Pretty much.
Sorry.
It's all right, Andrew.
I never get any of these references you make. Or Lord of the Rings, never saw it.
Or Pokemon.
I've seen Pokemon.
That's the biggest crime, I tell you.
The Pokemon one.
Jamie likes to draw parallels to Pokemon all the time.
I do.
It's good. There's a lot of them.
There are several.
Yeah.
I like them.
Can't come up with them right now.
Okay, anyway.
Anyone have any more thoughts on Hermione?
Anyway, yeah, come on up here. Come up. You got to come up here. You got to be on the microphone.
Fine. Come on up.
Kreacher, Hermione. They're kind of like the
Hermione,
same character.
Kreacher.
Not really. But
Here, use this mic.
exactly.
Whoa, where are you going?
She wants Jamie's microphone.
You don't want to talk to me? It's cool.
I still love you guys.
No.
Okay,
Whatever,
my name?
really. Yeah, your name.
Where you're from.
Okay, my name's
MySpace
Ariana
URL.
Beamer. I am from New Baltimore, Michigan. And that's my friends. And about Kreacher, what I thought was about how he changed after Harry showed kindness to him is another example of how love plays such an important role in the books. Like, all Kreacher really wanted was someone to love him, and that's why he felt connected to Mrs. Black and Narcissa and Bellatrix, because they showed care. They cared for him, or they pretended to, at least. So when Harry started to care for him, he really started to come around and become more good than he was.
I thought it was I thought it was a really almost like a sweet story. Like you think about how I'm gonna turn to a puddle of tears here in a minute, but like all it took was just a little bit of kindness. And I wonder, maybe there's some people in each of your lives or in my life that I haven't maybe treated kindly, and some people that you just really, really, really dislike, and then maybe if I showed him a little bit of kindness, at some point, maybe Mikey would love me back.
Oh, I do, Emerson.
Speaking of all this love and kindness, how about Dudley showing some love
That was
for Harry?
lame.
I mean,
I'm Big D.
I didn't know he was capable of being so romantic.
Me too.
Put it there, Harry Potter. I'm Big D.
I don't think you're a waste of space.
that was just one of those things where you were just
No,
like,
that's just
no,
me.
it's so out of place. It doesn't make sense. Maybe we had some more explanation, but there was none.
Can I just check? Is your name the same as Dumbledore's?
Yes, it is.
I hope your life is better than hers. Really?
What's your
But
name?
you're
Nice.
alive.
Yeah, you're alive. That's the difference.
There's a difference there.
And not crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
She wasn't always crazy.
And not kept. All right.
Well, you're not in public though, so clearly you're safe.
Are you a witch?
So,
Anyway, moving on.
Any other points?
and then we'll open up the floor. We'll just have an open discussion about the book, anything that's been bugging you or anything that hasn't been bugging you.
Has anyone seen the fifth movie yet?
Here, first, let's go.
You guys saw
Yet?
Creature in that,
Yet?
right? Yeah. Now, remember after Harry's nice to him, he got all nice and clean with like puffs of white. It's gonna be amazing to see. Like he's just gonna be like a really goofy looking house elf, and so I'm excited for that too.
This whole time I was reading the book, I couldn't help but think about what they're going to do for the movie, because we just came out of the movie, so I couldn't help but have it on my mind. And they're going to have to cut so much; it's going to be disgusting. Some of the things that they do.
Let's do an 8-hour movie.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, there you go.
That's what I've been saying. Peter Jackson doing an 8-hour movie.
So,
Peter Jackson.
what's your
the Harry
name and
Potter
where you're
story.
from?
I'm Jackie. I'm from Birmingham, Michigan. Those are my friends. Okay. Mikey had said that Hermione was way too logical when they were talking about the Deathly Hallows. And I don't think that's true because, like, if you look at Xenophilius Lovegood, he's completely insane. Like, he wears a hat and, like, the thing is, like, he's cross-eyed and like, the book is from, like, the Babbity Rabbit. I don't know what it's called anymore. But, like, they're children's stories. Like, she's right. Like, I think if I was in that situation, I would agree.
Well, my one argument to that is Dumbledore gave her that book, and Dumbledore is a pretty smart guy.
Well,
That's why I think that actually Hermione was being illogical for once, because she was ignoring the evidence, the fact that the invisibility cloak existed. That's evidence of at least one of the Deathly Hallows. And then Harry thinks he figures out where the stone is, and then Voldemort is obviously looking for the wand, and Voldemort's pretty smart, so all those pieces falling together should indicate that maybe it's more than just a story.
I agree with Emerson.
Yeah.
See, things are turning around between us.
High five. Yeah! We're friends again!
Friends.
Forever.
I wonder why Mr. Lovegood, I don't know how to pronounce his first name, so I'm just going to
Xenophilius.
I wonder why he trusted the Deathly Hallows so much. Like that story. Why was he part of this group of people who were dedicated to searching for it? When he why does he need it? Why does he care?
What other quest does it remind you of? Like the search of 3 objects like that?
Like the Holy Grail?
Yeah, it's exactly what I got reminded of. I got reminded of the Da Vinci Code, Dan Brown, if anyone's read it, and like searching for, and a group of people coming together, mostly in secret because no one else knows about them, really, to search for them. That was interesting.
Yeah, good point. Miss Girl, Jamie?
I just wanted to see what you guys
What's
thought
your name?
Amanda Baden. I'm from Toledo, Ohio.
Toledo!
Well, my brother's favorite character is Dobby, and so when he was reading the book, he was like, "Oh my God, the worst thing just happened," and I was like freaking out. And then I read it, and saw that he died. And me and my sister were reading what will happen in the 7th book, and it said Dobby 100-1 that he wasn't going to die. So I want to know what you thought about that.
You can't be perfect.
We did not sign off on that. It was a misprint.
Yeah. Frankly, I'm
future
glad.
editions of the book will be changed to reflect the true odds that we intended.
1 to 100. Frankly, I'm kind of glad we didn't predict Dobby's death. I would feel like a slimy person if I predicted that death.
Yeah.
Same with Hedwig. How do you predict the death of an owl?
You can't.
Was everyone sad when Hedwig and Dobby died?
Yeah,
those were very sad deaths.
Dobby was one of the saddest deaths. Dobby?
Well, Hedwig. How was Hedwig
I
sad?
agree, Ben. I agree.
I
with
got the
you.
big eyes, Ben.
Hedwig's been with him for
all
his years.
I didn't feel any emotional attachment to her. I just thought it.
And nobody had an
bird.
emotional attachment to Hedwig except for Harry.
It was one of those things.
No, but seriously, it just came so fast. It was a surprise. Did anyone else up here find it emotional?
Did you cry, Andrew?
No, I didn't. I did feel for Dobby, though, because of the way that J.K. Rowling described it. Harry picked up his little body and carried it over. It was just very sad. Yeah, it makes me excited. So... Okay.
I didn't expect him to die of Bellatrix stabbing him. That was just kind of weird.
Yeah.
But
That would have been like, what, 10,000 to 1 odds?
yeah.
Yeah.
Except I predicted it.
Hi, what's your name? Where are you from?
Jillian, I'm from Canton, Michigan, not Ohio. No, I'm good. This is far enough for me to travel. I have 2 things to say, though. One about the veil, or about the locked room. They explained in the 5th book in that room was pure love, and I think like bringing that into the story later would have made it really corny and hokey, and really would have taken away from like Harry Potter in general.
Why did she mention it though? Because she made a big deal out of it.
She mentioned it because Dumbledore was talking to Harry about it, about how he fought off Voldemort in the book because he loved Sirius, and he was full of so much love, and that's what it was brought up to when they were talking about Sirius's death. And I think the only reason we ever saw the door was as a setup for that scene with Harry and Dumbledore. And then as far as the house elves goes, using the knives and spatulas and that stuff, they were all essentially enslaved, I guess. They worked for Hogwarts, and so they could only use magic when they were given permission to. The headmaster was Snape, and Snape was already dead by then. Dobby only ever used magic on another wizard, because that was illegal, after he was freed in Chamber of Secrets, and that was only to protect Harry.
And also, they've just come from a kitchen, and if you can't find knives and forks there, and where can you find them?
Right.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm Danielle Miro. I'm from St. Clair Shores, Michigan.
Yeah.
I just wanted to go back to Hermione, because I think her story had its own theme to it entirely. At first, when you see her, she's smart and she's clever and she always follows the rules. And as the books go on, she keeps breaking more rules and getting used to it. And I think it really teaches people civil disobedience and how it's not always right to go along with what everyone else is saying. It's not always the right thing to be doing.
They're more like guidelines anyway.
Yeah. Here. This guy right here. This guy's been waiting. Right here. What's your name? Where are you from?
My name is Les. I'm from Farmington, Michigan, not too far from here. How, in Snape's memory, when he's talking to Dumbledore from behind his desk, and he's talking about giving the sword to Harry and how he's going to tell the Death Eaters the real date, how is he talking to Dumbledore when he's not the headmaster yet? He doesn't become headmaster until the Ministry falls, and that doesn't happen until after the wedding.
Perhaps Dumbledore put enchantments on the thing so Snape could get in. Didn't we talk the other day about...
I think we need to reread that chapter. Was that after?
That was during the Prince's Tale, correct?
It was his whole memory situation, and it was essentially how the whole situation with him and Dumbledore gets set up, and how Dumbledore uses Snape to plant everything for Harry.
Didn't we discuss, I think it was yesterday, that the office opens in terms of worthiness, not on whether you're the headmaster. So even though Umbridge was the head mistress in the time of Book 5, it wouldn't open for her, first of all, because it didn't think she was worthy, whereas I think Snape would have been a very, very worthy person to get in.
Yeah, we did talk about that.
My only thing that I can think of is possibly, since it is summer, there's no students in that castle, and I'm sure the protections would be to keep bad people out, Death Eaters out. But since Snape is supposed to be able to get in, Dumbledore would have made sure it's for that. He probably couldn't have gotten to the headmaster's office.
He needed to get in as well.
He needed to be able to get in and be able to talk to Dumbledore.
So he snuck in before he was headmaster.
Yeah, probably snuck in, because again, there's nobody there other than maybe Filch and Mrs. Norris or something like that.
Right.
Yeah. And I'm sure Snape could have probably avoided them.
And for a completely unrelated tangent here, just want to just real quick. Ben and I, we spent the entire summer take every book. So we went to over like 35 cities, and every city we went to, we spent usually a good half hour just defending a certain theory that was not popular. And just want to take a moment real quick to toot our own horn. Harry is a Horcrux, and
we called it.
Give it up for Ben Shane and Emerson Sparks. They know what's up.
And Jamie Lawrence, who also wrote
Jamie Lawrence too. I forgot. Sorry, Jamie. It's all right, Jamie. You're always right to me.
But it's just extremely. We just feel extremely vindicated now, because everybody hated us for liking that theory, and we got so much pressure to give in, right, Ben?
Thank God
we held firm. We held firm.
We still haven't released the Los Angeles Leaky Mug, because there was a big debate there.
Ooh.
And we still should still release it.
It was basically, I had it out with John and Melissa over the Horcrux theory. It was pretty intense.
And Melissa was paging through the book the entire time trying to prove
and then a few days later we get this email from Melissa saying, "Oh, I have it now. There's no way you can get your way out of this one." And she gave us like this big explanation for why Harry couldn't be a Horcrux, how it was absolutely impossible for him to be a Horcrux. And then she went to pottercast.com, made the same post, and yeah.
Dumbledore says Harry is a Horcrux.
Harry, you are the 7th Horcrux.
I got so excited when I read that line. Yeah.
That was like Ben's reaction. He's just like,
I just went nuts.
Okay, next question.
Okay, I'm Steven. I'm 13, and I'm from Grosse Pointe Woods, Michigan. And I was wondering...
Ooh, Pickle Pack member, too.
About the house ghosts. we learn a lot about them at the end of the 7th book, because we learn that the Grey Lady from Ravenclaw was the daughter of Rowena Ravenclaw, and she was killed by the Bloody Baron. And I was just wondering, like the other 2 ghosts, the Fat Friar and Nearly Headless Nick, if they have some relation to Hogwarts and like some event in their life happened there that made them the ghost of Hogwarts. So I was wondering if we might find out about that, and like when she writes the encyclopedia. So.
Not if. She said she would. She said she was going to...
That is the kind of thing
We don't know
she'd
when,
write
it could
about,
be a
though,
while,
Hogwarts
but-
ghosts.
Huh?
That is the kind of thing she'd write about, Hogwarts ghosts and their background, because she said she's going to give background on a lot of characters, Dean Thomas specifically.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a lot of information in there.
And she did mention that she's writing 2 different things, one of which is for kids and the other isn't. So I think she may be working on the encyclopedia as the one for kids, or maybe even something else. But
Yeah, probably.
And then the one for adults would be some kind of I really think she's going to write fiction, and it could be crime fiction or mysteries. She obviously loves mysteries, so we'll see.
Well, she's been working on a children's book. A short one. A very short one. But no word about that yet, like what exactly it's about. So, here, let's go here, and then you can come up. Hi.
Hello, my name is Carla Koss, and I'm with the Central Michigan University chapter of Dumbledore's Army.
Nice.
That's right. We're cool. And the thing that I really wanted to point out is we were talking about how Hermione had changed so much as a character, but I think we kind of neglected Ron a little bit. And the reason I bring that up, especially between Harry and Ron, their relationship, is the part where Ron sort of comes back and admits that he was wrong, and I just think that that is such a departure from the 4th book when he couldn't even apologize for not believing in Harry and sort of not talking to him for half the year.
But he did eventually, though.
Not really.
Well,
that's how guys
but he came back.
Yeah,
though,
that is how guys apologize.
That's how. Come on, me and Emerson just made up in front of all you guys.
See,
that's how we do
were
it.
feuding.
We're like, no.
But that was a book 7 sort of apology. There was a hug.
That's tomorrow's talk.
Yeah,
and that was also like
On
the
Ron.
feud. The fight in book 7 was a much bigger fight than the one in book 4. I thought, because the circumstances were so much different. But I do agree. Ron has matured somewhat.
I mean, he's still the same Ron, but I think that he's come a long way since.
But now he's read a book on how to charm a witch or whatever it was.
Yeah.
That's doubling his knowledge of the subject, probably.
Is Harry considered a witch? Did he charm Harry?
He may have used some of those techniques, Mikey.
I don't know. We
Okay,
have to
we
read
should
more
stop
into
this
it.
conversation right now.
Let's stop.
I can't hear any more from this.
Thank you. This woman right here? Am I going to shoot?
Hi, my name is Kelly. I'm from Commerce Township. And I want to talk to you guys about Professor Quirrell a little bit. Now that we know all of the Horcruxes and how they were determined and found out and destroyed, what do you guys think about, or I guess what's the common theory about what Quirrell was, as far as had he stumbled upon a Horcrux? How did Voldemort possess him? And does it have anything to do with the Horcruxes?
I think, to me, a Horcrux, the Horcruxes themselves, the night that Voldemort was killed, it wasn't like Pettigrew or someone had to go activate a Horcrux so that piece of soul could be floating around or whatever. He was just that Vapormort, as I like to call it. He was just that apparition of his former self. It was that soul or whatever you want to call it floating around. And as long as the Horcruxes remained on the earth, that airy soul or whatever can remain also. And so that's what possessed Quirrell. Quirrell didn't find a
Yeah,
Horcrux.
but I think it was like a voluntary possession from Quirrell. I don't think Voldemort took over him. I think there was like a talk and he persuaded him and he manipulated him to his will. And that's why he was on the back of his head for an entire book.
Yeah.
It must be weird.
Yeah.
Can you imagine walking backwards to see? It was like.
Can you imagine
That
showering?
must have been tough. They must have practiced
that'd been
that.
weird. It's like, don't get the soap
No
in my
privacy
eyes.
there.
Yeah, and when he sits down on the toilet,
Yeah,
Voldemort just
every
has
time.
to face a wall for like 15 minutes.
All right, another
That
question.
can't be fun. Next one.
Okay,
nose.
I'm Robin Cohen, and I'm from Livonia, Michigan. And so when I was reading the first one, I always thought it was like kind of corny how Harry caught the snitch in his mouth, and that was like he swallowed it. I couldn't really see that, but I thought it was pretty cool how I never thought it would tie back into the 7th book, where, you know, it helped him so much because when he was trying to, like, see if it would open and it touched his hand and, you know, if he would have just caught it, then it would have opened and they would have saw that the stone was in it. But he did the mouth thing and thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. In this book, there's a lot of things that you see coming back, and I think it was just Joe's way of paying tribute to everything in the past 6 books. Take, for example, Oliver Wood making the random appearance in the book. Mikey commented the other day that he's definitely going to be one of the things cut from the actual movie.
Yeah.
I don't know, Mikey. He's pretty central.
There's probably still that petition out there.
Yeah,
I don't know if you guys remember
Oliver
that.
Wood back.
Yeah. I'm trying. What other little things were in the book? I just remember reading throughout the entire book a lot of little things that reflect Norbert. Yeah. What's that? What's Norberta? Oh, good point.
Oh, yeah.
Good point.
Percy Weasley coming back was good as well.
Percy Weasley coming back was good. Yeah.
I was hoping we'd see the Mirror of
Return.
Erised. I was hoping that was going to be one of the
Yeah.
Horcruxes, like the Ravenclaw one or something.
The Chamber of Secrets coming back. Yeah, that was another thing. Ron suddenly learning parcel mouth.
No, it's because he had the diary. Not the diary, but the
The
locket.
Horcrux around us. Yeah.
I still don't really understand that at all.
Understand
why
what-
Ron was
sense.
able to just, you know, like hiss.
Hiss. Yeah,
we
suddenly
talked about
speak
this.
partial
This-
tongue.
Well, I don't think it was that simple. I mean, the reason that Ginny was able to open the Chamber of Secrets was because she had the diary, and Ron had the locket. So it's like the same thing.
But I always thought...
But for destroying the Horcrux, I mean, Harry had to use the basilisk venom to do
Yeah.
it, and Ron was able to open it up just by, I guess,
hissing.
If that's all you need to speak partial tongue. Wow. It was kind of strange.
And I always thought that the ability to speak partial tongue was an ability rather than a learned thing. So, like, you know, you can't learn it like another language here.
Kind of like how chimp, like we can speak chimp, you know, like.
But they can't speak human.
But they can't talk like this.
Yeah.
You know.
Someone's saying imitating the sound works the same way, but I don't.
Yeah.
Ron didn't know what he was
Like you
saying.
think of
Oh,
the
that's
like
true,
the
yeah.
zillions of combinations. You can listen to someone try to speak English, and then you probably won't get hardly any English right anyway, because you can just make up words that sound like
exactly.
English but actually aren't. Because if you,
I think it's clear that the reason he was able to do it was because he had the locket. I mean, he was wearing the locket.
And then
Otherwise,
he just
would.
imitated the sound. Oh, wait, there's a lot of debate going on. What?
I
Pull up the book.
Andrew, that
I
normally
swear
means
he
we're
was
wrong.
wearing the thing. Get mad, okay? Get angry.
We'll double check.
Get fired up.
Yesterday in Chicago, everyone seemed to agree with it, but come on up.
Well, hold on one second about that. The Chamber of Secrets is only supposed to open for the heir of Slytherin. By him having the locket and even having a little bit essence of Voldemort, who was the heir of Slytherin, it would have opened for him. So I back Ben completely on it. It was destroyed, but it had been there. You know what I mean? Yeah, he had the cup.
He had
the
one of
cup,
the Horcruxes. That's all
he
I
had the
meant.
cup, not
okay?
the locket. Exactly.
We're just splitting hairs here, people. Come
so
on.
regardless, it opened because he had part of
Someone could've
Voldemort
just said
with
that.
him. Someone
He
could
had
have said
a
the cup.
Horcrux in
Ben,
some
that was
shape
an-
or form.
Ben, that was an excellent test, and they passed with flying colours. Well done. They realised it was
You
the
guys
cup.
did read the book.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Well done.
Ben was right.
Next
Let's
question.
go on.
Maybe we should read the book now. So
you think
I just read the Spark Notes. Sorry.
Chapter 1.
Okay. Hi, I'm Alex, and I'm from Allen Park, Michigan, which is really small. I was wondering, I thought it was interesting how in the 7th book, it was like the Malfoys, like this amazing family now. They like help him out just because they're worried about Draco. And before, it didn't seem like they really cared. And now it's just like, oh my gosh, my son.
I agree.
I think that came from Narcissa more than Lucius, but eventually in the end he came around, and I don't know. I thought it was kind of a sweet way for the Malfoys to go out. I mean, because I thought Draco and Lucius were definitely goners, but we were wrong.
Yeah. Even in Half-Blood Prince, it seemed like Narcissa cared for Draco. She was worried for him, wasn't?
Yeah.
So next question.
Because the difference is
Sorry,
their loyalty to their son was much greater than their loyalty to Voldemort.
Okay, Okay, I'm Kate from Manchester, Michigan.
Interrupt first. I remember you. You were. I did an event in Maryville, Indiana, like a couple weeks ago, and like I remember though it was way after the event was over, and then she came with her family afterwards.
Yeah, we were late.
Yeah, just saw this girl come in with a MuggleCast shirt like way after the event. Like, wonder what she's here for.
Yeah. But I was thinking, okay, if Voldemort was descended from the Peverils and Harry was, wouldn't they be related? Like, I just think that's weird.
Distant.
Right.
Like third cousins, second removed.
But I don't think Harry's related to Slytherin, because that would just be weird.
That's like saying there's that saying we're all 5 degrees away from 6 degrees away from Kevin Bacon. I haven't confirmed that with me personally. I don't know if anyone has, but yeah. So, all right, you get someone from over this side.
Yeah.
I'm John, 26, from Wayne, Michigan. MySpace/Orko33.
Thank you. You're the first person to actually do it.
Yeah, I thought so. I'm still more wondering why Harry was the master of the Elder Wand. He took Draco's Hawthorn wand from him, but he didn't take the Elder Wand from him, so why was he the master of the Elder Wand?
It's because, Mikey.
Okay.
Yeah, this theory that Mikey's been doing for this is amazing.
Okay,
Go on, Mikey.
Okay, well, all right. Voldemort first went to Ollivander and asked, like, why did his wand not beat Harry's, blah, 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 all that. And he asked Harry, once Harry rescued Ollivander's, like, does the person that, can gain possession or win the wand have to kill him? No. That's what actually Dumbledore did to Grindelwald. He didn't kill him. He still had the wand. The person that disarmed and actually won the wand from Dumbledore was Draco. Doesn't mean he even has to have it in possession. He is now the master of it. The wand recognizes the master regardless.
And then once he was defeated, though.
I agree, but Harry disarmed and defeated Draco, who was the master of that wand. The master recognized that Harry was the wizard who had earned it, who had won it. Now, what happened was, even though Voldemort had thought he was the master, the wand recognized that Harry was the actual master and would not try to kill its own master because he was the rightful owner of that. That's why the spell backfired.
Give it up for Mikey B, everybody.
Yeah, all right.
All right. Ben Shane knew it. He just wanted me to talk about it.
Okay, let's go right here.
Hi, I'm Catherine. I'm from Detroit, Michigan. And I was just wondering, I was just going to say, finally, Ron and Hermione, give it up, finally. And I just wanted to know what you guys, if you thought it was going to turn out any other way.
I didn't think it would turn out with a kid named Hugo.
Yeah, Hugo's that was a bit weird.
See, I actually thought I was a secret Harry Hermione shipper all these years.
Oh.
On the website, when I called all Harry Hermione shippers delusional, I was just kidding. It was all a front.
It was kind of funny though. I thought it was funny how Joe kind of gave Harry Hermione shippers a little bit of hope in that one instant. When there's when Ron comes up upon those whatever they were, the figures that started making out. Yeah.
I feel like she may have dashed their hopes a few times in the past to where they shouldn't be getting their hopes up for any reason at all while reading the book.
But you don't know Harry Hermione shippers. They
I think I do, actually.
Every strand of hope possible.
Well, what about when they actually finally got together and kissed? It's like, can you just imagine Harry going like, guys, we have a Horcrux.
Have some horror, yeah. So,
tapping his foot, looking at his watch.
I can't let that go. I'm sorry, Mikey. I can't let that go. That's my joke that I've used every single show so far.
Mikey has stolen 10 people's jokes this show.
There's been this running thing on this tour where we started off the first show with all these new and original hilarious jokes, and now with being the fifth show in now, we're all just stealing each other's jokes. Whoever can steal the jokes first. So Mikey's thing about Give It Up for Molly Weasley was stolen by Ben yesterday.
Twice in a row, and so I had to do it right away in the show. So Ben couldn't do it.
Right before I said, Mikey, don't even waste time. Don't even say hello. Just go right out with saying, Give It Up for Molly Weasley.
Because come on, Molly Weasley, everyone. She was awesome. See? Yeah. Take that, Ben Shane.
Do you want to form an alliance with me against Mikey stealing the jokes?
Remember Creature, okay?
Remember Creature.
Quick fire all of Mikey's jokes out straight away.
I would tell you how many jokes today Mikey's stolen of mine, but that would take way too long. Cause
there is 10. One thing you've been doing every show. You haven't done it yet.
Oh, Ben, I think it's always nice to have an inspirational quote every show, like something that teaches us about life. So, do you have any?
It is our choices, Harry, far more than our abilities that determine what we truly are.
Thank you, Ben.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, a couple. We're almost out of time, so a couple more from this side.
I'm Emma from Livonia, and I was wondering, why do you think that Harry never does anything worse to all the Death Eaters that are coming after him than stun them or use Expelliarmus? And why doesn't he do anything worse? I mean,
Because he
they keep
doesn't
coming
know
after him.
anything.
I mean, you think he'd do something?
See, if you're looking at it from like completely rational point of view, you think Harry should at least do the full body bind or something that's not going to like wear off right away,
Yep.
or something that, because I mean he'll impediment to them or something, and then 30 seconds later they'll be chasing him again, and you're thinking, Harry, what are you doing, man? Like I don't really understand. Like if you can't be too rational about spell choice, because it seems like you would only use like once. You just use Imperio on every single person in a battle, and then you'd have your own little army of people. And I mean, it's not you can't rationalize it. I've tried too hard. My brain hurts.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
This guy. Your twin here today?
It's just support.
No, it's cool. Come on.
Okay.
It's Steve from Jackson again. I was just curious if anybody else was angry that they were able to break into the room of requirement in the 5th movie, because it totally defeats the point of the room for
I
the rest
agree.
of the movies.
These are the stupid cuts that they have to keep making in order to cut down the movie
But how's
time.
that? But doesn't that make you hate Umbridge a little bit more because she's the one that actually does it?
Yeah, but
it was just
I'm
like,
sorry, Ben.
well, I mean, they had
I hate
already
her.
screwed up. They had who was it, Neville walking in front of the wall, and then it just opened up, and then so it's just these dumb little things. Maybe not to cut down on time, but it's a shame that they do this.
Okay, my name's Katie Rick. I'm from New Baltimore, Michigan. And I was just wondering if anybody else was kind of confused about the fact that Voldemort had said the whole time that he wanted a 7-part soul. Now, that would include the part of soul that was in his body. So if Harry was the 7th Horcrux, and there were 7 Horcruxes, then wouldn't it technically be
he
an
didn't
8th
mean
part?
to. He didn't mean to make Harry though. That's the.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So he'd have had 6 originally, and then he was hoping to kill Harry. So then he'd have had the 6 Horcruxes and himself. So the 7th part of
Wait,
soul would
but-
be in him.
But
Then he
he made
accidentally
Nagini.
made Harry a Horcrux. So he split his soul one final time, one time when he didn't mean to, and half of it went inside Harry. Dumbledore says it got encased. No, sorry, it attached
latched itself to the only living soul in the
thing in
room.
the room, which was Harry. So he didn't mean to make Harry a Horcrux.
But wasn't he going to make a 7th Horcrux with him?
Well, no, he'd already
Or-
had 7. He
No, he had 6, and then he
Wait,
made
Nagini. Nagini was the
final one, yeah.
Right, and he made. I think he hasn't had Nagini that long. I don't think he made Nagini into a Horcrux until after he got his body back, or the death
Yeah.
of Frank Bryce. So
that's a point.
So I think it actually would be 8 Horcruxes then. Or
Yeah, there are 8. There were 8 in the end, yeah.
Haha, Voldemort sucks.
Eight pieces
sorry,
of soul, 7 Horcruxes.
Yeah.
Because there's still like the Master Soul and the Vapor Mort that Ben calls it.
Yeah,
it's floating around.
All right, one last question for today. You corrected me when I said Norbert was. I said Norbert. Norbert's a girl, right?
Yeah.
What's the question?
I'm Colin from Fenton, Michigan, and I was thinking that in the epilogue, when they saw Draco and his wife and his son, it was kind of mean to name his son Scorpius. Scorpius, the evil.
Well, would you like to? Would you like to have been named Scorpius?
No.
How old?
I would love to be named Scorpius.
10 years old. Give it up for this guy. He's a smart kid. Scorpius. What do you think of Hugo?
I didn't like that.
Hugo, yeah, it was weird. We had read the epilogue before the book came out. I could have sworn it was a fake because of the name Hugo. I was like, Joe wouldn't name someone Hugo. That's just silly.
Andrew, shouldn't you check that no one here is called Hugo first, or has any friends called Hugo?
Anyone Hugo's in the
Actually,
audience?
no. The thing about Hugo is someone sent me an email that gave a reason, like what
Why?
Hugo means, like the etymology.
Sorry, what?
How?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Well done,
but
Ben.
why would you
Could
choose
have been
Hugo?
Henry or something.
Like, yeah,
or
You didn't have to
Why
name
not?
him Hugo,
Harry, yeah.
Why not Harry?
Harold?
because Harold's not much better than Hugo.
Yeah.
But no, I read reason that it was something to do with the etymology behind the name, the word Hugo, whatever it was. It was good though. That's all I remember. But
We'll look it up later.
I mean, the Scorpius name is probably from the constellation. You know, Draco's a constellation. Scorpius. You know, there's probably a
Sirius.
trend there.
Is Alex around here?
Alex Carpenter.
Where's Alex at? He's
Give
at
me
my.
some
The
of
Remus
that
Lupins.
wizard rock. Where's he at?
He's elusive.
We can
He's
have,
warming up. Is he coming?
We can
What's
have.
he doing? Why?
He's working.
There he is.
Oh, there he is.
Alex Carpenter, everybody. The Remus Lupins. Alex, how
The
you doing
store is
today?
really big.
Huh?
I was just in the back, but it took
Yeah.
all that time
Working
to
up
get
your
over
set
here.
list right now. You ready?
Yeah,
Ready for
I
the
forgot
show today?
what songs we were supposed to play.
We're gonna get out of here for now, but Alex is gonna play some awesome Wizard Rock music in just a minute.
And once again, before we go, thank you to the wonderful Border staff, and also thank you to Adam Bromberg running the merchandising table. He's been great and wonderful and fun and awesome.
Speaking of merchandise, you would. It's been over 6 months since we've been able to sell MuggleNet T-shirts, and for the first and last time, you have an opportunity to buy them now for $15. The ones we're wearing up here, they're slightly different, but they're even cooler. We're not allowed to sell them. We're not allowed to sell them on the website anymore, but we have some in stock. So.
Also, MuggleCast T-shirts, Remus Lupin shirts too. All
other
cost
merchandise.
$15. How much are your
CDs.
CDs? How much are they? $5?
Just come and say hi after the show. Let's not do a
Okay.
commercial right now.
All right, fine. Also, want to thank Brandon back here for doing the audio. Thanks, buddy.
Give it up for Brandon.
And thank you guys for coming and being awesome, right, Andrew?
Yes. Yes, Alex, yes. One other thing, just stick around here. We'll meet you guys after the Wizard Rock show. So stick around. Alex is going to start a minute. Bye, everyone.